Welcome to Rucifail. I've spawned back into the server and most of my good stuff is gone. I try and log out carrying as much of the good stuff as I can, but I do have to leave stuff in the improvised shelter and there's a lot of gaps. So someone's found my base and they've taken advantage of it. I go take a look at the other improvised shelter immediately next to the first one, and that hasn't been touched, but as you can see that had just basically a lot of junk in it, stuff that I didn't really care about. I had stored some stuff in the bottom of the fireplace here, but I hadn't really cared about it, and I'm not sure if maybe it just kind of disappeared or if someone has taken that too. I go down to where I was building my homestead just to see if that's still there, but I'm guessing if my camp has been found, then the homestead's compromised too. I need to fill my water bottle up, so I decided to head down into Zvir to check out what's going on down in town. This house had a base in it, so I'm checking it out. It was already raided, but I'm just trying to see if maybe they've restored it or put some more loot hiding in here or anything like that. But it doesn't look that way, it still looks like it's been abandoned. I'm guessing the place anywhere is allowing them to place that tent through the wall. There's also a code lock on this shed, so they must have had some stuff stored in there too. I continue making my way around Zvir, heading towards the water fountain, searching the houses as I go. This is new. This wasn't here last time I was here. So this is a new base. So there's that one further away down near the river that I found an episode or two ago. Now there's this one too. So there's obviously more people living in this part of the map. I'm cautious because I'm not sure if they can see me from the windows of that base. I want to get across here out of sight and a bit safe from the base while I get my water bottle ready because I need to fill it up and I want to drink some water and fill it up again. I set myself up at the water fountain so I can see the window while I'm filling my water bottle. But typical Rucifail, the fountain blocks it. After finding the new base in town and knowing that there's another well-fortified base in town, I decided it's time to pack up my camp. It's obviously been found. I pack up all the stuff that I want to carry with me, and I decide to head off in search of new adventures. It takes quite a while to sort through all the loot, but I do go through it all and eventually head south. I'm a bit too much of a chicken to head due east, which is kind of where I want to go. So I do head south and decide to go along the beach first. Along the way, I come across a heli crash. I've done one of these successfully in the past and not so successfully the second time. So I'm very cautious this time. I have a good look around and try and see if I can see any other players. It's very open. This was one that I wasn't killed at last time in this field. But I'm cautious that there might be someone in that house down there. Last time I was here, I did check that house after going to the heli crash, and I realised that I possibly should have checked it first. The infected are still here, which is a good sign that it hasn't been raided. But my pockets are fairly full. I've got no equipment slots really available. But I do decide to hang around for a little bit, check it out, see if it's worth going for it. Eventually I decide to follow my own advice from last time I was here and head down and check out the house before running across the field. This infected is quite far from the house again, so he must have spawned out this way. Last time I wasn't sure if he was there due to maybe someone being nearby and him walking a long way. There's another infected hiding there behind the shed that I thought might be a player for a second. I've snuck all the way up to the house without my gun out. I suddenly realised that, so I pulled my gun out. The door's locked. It spooks me. I don't know if someone's in there or not, but I run. Thankfully, it looks like no one is following me, so I should be safe. As I run on, I notice this protected case. There's not much in it, and it kind of makes me wonder what's going on. At the time I recorded this, I didn't even notice the improvised shelter right there. Just goes to show that they are quite well camouflaged, because I didn't see it as I ran up to it. But you can see now quite clearly that there's the crosshatch of an improvised shelter hiding right there next to me. As I said before, I run all the way down to the beach. I find a dry bag which has more storage slots in it than the improvised burlap backpack that I'm wearing currently, so I decide to swap everything over. As I run along the beach, I come across this barrel. I'm not sure if they spawn here or if this is just where one's ended up. But it does seem to have a fair bit of water in it, so I decide to try filling my water bottle. I've heard you can fill water bottles from barrels full of rainwater, and the water is clean. It does appear that I'm tipping water into the barrel, but the bottle was empty, and you can actually see the contents of the water bottle are increasing. And sure enough, the water bottle is now full. I run on to Prison Island. I've spoken about the curse of Prison Island before, and it doesn't disappoint this time either. After doing the rounds on Prison Island, I end up back in Cherno. And as I'm running into town, I suddenly notice another player. I initially run away from the player. I'm not sure if they're armed or not. Then I decide, you know what? I'm tired of being a chicken. Let's go. They were running up to the left here somewhere. There did appear to be only one player. I see them, and I say them because I can hear them talking. I only see one player, but there's definitely more than one. They were talking to each other. The zombie has obviously kept them distracted, but I decide to run and hide. I keep the gun out just in case they come running. I don't know if they've seen me or not. After a while, I sneak out. The server's restarting in 10 minutes, and I don't want to be trapped somewhere in the open. The players were running west. They probably looted all of these little huts along the side. I decide it's time to find somewhere to log out for the server restart. There's a lot of infected around. I can't hit him. No matter what I do, I can't hit him. I pull out my baseball bat. I still can't hit him, but he can hit me. Now there's shots. Oh god, I'm knocked out. When I come to, there's still shots nearby. Hopefully the infected have run off due to the noise from the gunshots. I run up the stairs and shut as many doors as I can. Thankfully, the bleed isn't too great. I haven't lost too much blood. I patch myself up and I end up staying in the house for the server restart. After the server restart, I log back in and continue west out of Cherno. As night falls, I make my way through all the shipping containers. There can sometimes be some good military loot, but as it is a common spawn, there wasn't very much there this time. It's getting very dark. I have actually boosted the brightness, and I have a headlamp that I'm using, but it's still very dark. I run on and occasionally switch my headlamp on, but I try to run through the dark as much as I can. You can make the water out in the video, but at the time I couldn't even see it. There's some light in the distance, and I decide to make a beeline for it. I don't realise how much water there is. I end up swimming for quite some time before turning around and going back. I light a fire in a small shed and dry my clothes off. I don't want to stay here long, because I'm pretty certain the light glitch is still in play, and players will be able to see me from a distance. After drying my clothes, I run off. I don't bother putting the fire out. So everything looks okay here. There's not too much light bleed. But as I run away, the whole countryside lights up. Once I've run a little further away, I look back and you can see the whole lighthouse is lit up, even though the fire is inside the shed and the shed's door is closed. I eventually run through the night and make it to a little town. I'm now going to loop my way a little further north, and I come across this little base. Kind of cool that I can open the curtains from the outside. There doesn't look to be much in there. My initial plan was to head inland, not a long way, and set up a kind of survivor camp where I could provide food for others. This seems to be exactly what this player is doing. He's got some needed supplies here outside. He's obviously got some more stuff on the inside. I take the Mark II as I think it's of more use to me at this stage than the Deagle is. I continue on my way inland. I once again come across this military camp. My pockets are full, and somehow I have a splat of blood that I've picked up along the way that won't go away. But I decide to give the military camp a go. I need to learn to loot and scoot. Loot and scoot, Ruci. Loot and scoot. making these videos, I always sit here and shake my head. I'm always like, oh my God, you always wonder why you die at military camps. And then you spend 10 minutes in a tent looking at a mag or a pistol that you don't need. Once again, I'm out of ammo. And once again, I'm unconscious. Now with 2 spots of blood that I can't get rid of. I'm down to my last bandage. I should get out of here. I've run around in circles. I'm still looking at the same loot I looked at last time. I don't have the room or the need for this, but I'm desperate to take it with me. I decide to make a rope belt to free up some slots in my inventory. With the rope belt made, I've now freed up 3 slots. I grab the pistol holder and I try and attach it to the belt. But I'm not wearing the belt that I made. I left it on the ground in the tent. I go back, grab the belt, and I still can't attach the holster. I persist in trying. If I make it out of here alive, it's only by sheer luck. In an effort to free up even more loot slots, I decide to eat the chicken. I finally decide that I've had enough. And I run out. I've been extremely lucky. I've spent far too long in there, and I've got far too much stuff that I don't actually need. I'm down to the point that I'm carrying a gun and I have nowhere to store it if I want to. So I have to put the gun down, pull out a melee weapon to deal with the infected. I end up in a town that I believe is pronounced Volovo. In Ukrainian, Volovo means playful. Fun tip for the day. But my hands are so full, I can't pull my baseball bat out, and I don't want to shoot the infected with the gun. I run into this room, put the carbine down, patch myself up with my last bandage, but I've got 2 cuts. I have nothing to heal the other cut with. End up using a sewing kit to heal my wound. It's a pretty desperate measure, but I do have disinfectant spray should I get an infection. The blood splatters that I'm carrying with me are increasing as well. I decide to eat some food to try and boost my immunity levels just in case I do get an infection. It should help stave it off. Volovo seems to have far too many infected for the size town it is. I'm bleeding again as well. I patch myself up with a sewing kit yet again. I still have no more bandages. I'm tiring. It's been several hours since I logged in today. I've traversed maybe half the map, looted my way through Cherno, looted my way through numerous villages and a military camp. There's infected everywhere. If playful refers to Belovo and it's infected, I think it's a correct name. Hey, thanks for watching all the way to the end, guys. Like I always say, it does mean a lot to me. It does help those YouTube algorithms. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. I do plan on releasing new videos still every week, and my subscriber base is growing, so that's great to see. Thanks again, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.